The only novel on the internet that breaks through the passage of Xiao Yan's father time travel to become Xiao Yan's father and obtain the strongest fighting father system. The system suggests that Xiao Zhan, who loves beautiful women, use the identity of the explosive heaven gang Su K. Xiao K. to capture the goddess. Ding dong, your son Xiao Yan has offended the leader of Yunlan sect, Dou Huang Yunyun. Following the principle of father's love is like a mountain, father must win, your cultivation will be elevated to Dou Huang. If this matter is dealt with, the host can receive top-notch rewards. Xiao Zhan understood that as long as Xiao Yan caused trouble, he could become stronger. You can also get rewards. Go soak up the best girls. Reminder Communication Group 6717178080 Keywords of the novel. Dou Pa. Starting from Xiao Yan's father to capture the goddess without a pop-up window. Dou Pa. Starting from Xiao Yan's father to capture the goddess. Download the complete text. Dou Pa. Starting from Xiao Yan's father to capture the goddess. Latest chapter reading. Chapter 1. Want to use father's love iron fist to beat Xiao Yan. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Chapter 1. Want to use father's love iron fist to beat Xiao Yan. My foolish and foolish son Xiao Yan, just take 2 wives and be satisfied. Since it's my son, why should the harem be completely closed? As a result, Xiao Suner and Medusa were closed. You're too timid. You're so cowardly. His name is Xiao Zhan, and he has the same name as Xiao Yan's father Xiao Zhan. He loves Dou Pa Tsangqiong, which is famous throughout the country. Only love to break through. Xiao Zhan's favorite character is his cheap son Xiao Yan. Although he is not yet 20 years old, he has just lost weight from 180 pounds to 120 pounds, and after becoming a handsome guy at this moment, the sky was shrouded in dark clouds. Suddenly, a thunderbolt struck him to death. Boom! Duki Continent, Xiaojia Square. Xiao Zhan was sitting on a wooden chair, wearing a grey robe. He looked around and saw that all the children of the Xiao family were wearing ancient clothes. There are also 3 respected elders sitting beside him. Today is the Xiao family children's cultivation test. Just like the school's exciting final exam. Simply put, it means that the child has a high level of cultivation, with a score of 100 on the test paper, and both parents and children are very happy. My cultivation is not high, I failed the exam, and my parents and children feel very upset. The final exam is what students are most afraid of, and the Xiao family cultivation test is also what Xiao family children are most afraid of. At the age of 16, the children of the Xiao family did not reach the 7th stage of Doji Qi during the coming-of-age ceremony. It means that it is hopeless and has no talent for cultivating fighting spirit. You can become a humble worker in the family industry now. He watched as the once genius and now useless son Xiao Yan was isolated and ridiculed by everyone in the square. He was wearing a black robe, with his long black hair tied in a ponytail. Handsome and angry, sword eyebrows and starry eyes. The power of struggle, 3 stages. Xiao Yan was looking at the 5 big characters on the test demon stone steel, his fingers clenching. In his eyes, there were signs of unwillingness, pain, anger. Just thinking about it. 3 years ago, he was the first genius of Yutun City, infatuated by countless young girls, secretly admiring and admiring. It is truly enviable. And 3 years later, he unexpectedly fell from the altar of genius to a point where even ordinary people were inferior. The name of Yutun City's genius has gradually been replaced by disdain and ridicule. Xiao Yan, Doji Li, Sanduan, level. Low. The middle-aged man beside the Rubik stone monument announced in an indifferent tone. As soon as the middle-aged man spoke, a mocking commotion erupted in the crowded square. Hey, this useless person has really ruined the face of the family. It's ridiculous that the former genius has become useless. What if a child is beaten up by society? A father must uphold justice. If he cannot uphold justice, his father will gain the ability to uphold justice after blocking the social beating for children. They can also receive rewards. Detected someone mocking Xiao Yan, please ask the host to ask them to shut up, be fair, or make the child no longer uncomfortable. Will obtain the host's original body and return to the age of 18. System, you're right. Simultaneously receive another mysterious reward. Upon hearing this exciting reward, Xiao Zhan suddenly stood up, wanting to protect his dear big brother from being bullied. He immediately wanted to say that 30 years in the east and 30 years in the west of the river, do not deceive young people into poverty. Saying Xiao Yan's lines left him speechless. He wanted to shout loudly. Forgive me for being blunt, everyone standing here, don't you wonder why geniuses become useless? Have you not thought about the reason? But it seems that speaking these words in public is a bit too arrogant. It's better to act low. Key. Just tell Xiao Yan alone, let him not feel uncomfortable. He walked silently to Xiao Yan's side. At this moment, Xiao Zhan looked around and saw that everyone's attention was focused on him. They were puzzled as to how Chief Xiao got off his seat. Do you think they mocked their child Xiao Yan? Seeing Xiao Yan feeling too uncomfortable, does he, who is a father, come to comfort him? Although puzzled, they still obediently gave way. Quickly, Xiao Zhan came to Xiao Yan's side, patted his shoulder, sighed in his ear, and spoke softly, encouraging Xiao Yan. Please advise my son, it's better to bully by Su Gong than to bully a young man who is poor. In the end, there will be a day when dragons wear phoenixes, and I don't believe in a lifetime of pants wearing holes. Don't be discouraged by others' ridicule. As for why Yan Er's cultivation did not increase but instead retreated, I actually know the reason. As sharp as an eagle eating a chick, Xiao Yan stared at Xiao Zhan, making him uncomfortable all over. It seems that my son Xiao Yan is deeply saddened by the consequences of his decline in cultivation, and he is extremely eager to explore. In a few days, Yan Er's cultivation will skyrocket. I hope you can understand that Yan Er became the first genius in Yuten City at the age of 11, and became a waste 3 years later. In another 3 years, we will definitely be able to return to the peak. 30 years in the east and 30 years in the west, do not deceive young people into poverty. What a good sentence, don't deceive the poor youth. Suddenly, Xiao Yan took a cold breath. How does this father speak his lines? This it feels very strange. Xiao Zhan seemed to be fascinated by Xiao Yan's listening, but he didn't continue. He wanted to take Xiao Yan to the room like catching a chick. Then teach him a lesson to make Xiao Yan fall in love with causing trouble, so that he can become stronger and defeat beautiful women in a fight. As Xiao Yan is no longer feeling uncomfortable, the host has received a reward. The pill that can change back to its original state after taking it has been stored in the host's sleeve. The ultimate reward has been placed in the system space. Xiao Zhan felt a foreign object appear in his sleeve, and he planned to go to the room to swallow it later. As for the exciting ultimate rewards, he is looking forward to them. And the children of the Xiao family, who used to mock Xiao Yan as a waste, no longer dare to mock him. I don't know why, but I just don't want to mock. It's strange instead, they were very curious about what encouraging words Xiao Zhan, the clan leader, had told his son, which swept away Xiao Yan's discomfort and made him extremely excited. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. My son Xiao Yan has the talent of a great emperor. Please check in. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. My son Xiao Yan has the talent of a great emperor. Request to clock in. Xiao Yan looked forward to his father telling him the reason for his decline in cultivation. A stunning girl eavesdropping, with bright and beautiful eyes shining brightly. She lightly took a lotus step and ran to Xiao Yan's side. Everyone's gaze suddenly shifted. At the point where everyone's gaze converges. A girl dressed in a purple dress was standing elegantly next to Xiao Yan. The calm and innocent face did not change at all due to the attention of everyone. The cold and indifferent temperament of a young girl is like the first blooming of a clear lotus, yet at a young age, she has already developed a refined temperament. It makes people not want to play with it. If she grows up in the future, how will the girl be so beautiful? And this woman is Xiao Suner, who is not married by Xiao Yan, and is known as the Suner goddess by the male children of the Xiao family. Xiao Lu couldn't figure it out. How could such a beautiful girl fall in love with her son Xiao Yan? Even if Xiao Yan had some of the handsomeness of his father back then, wouldn't he fall in love? I really don't understand. Is it because I am a single dog from a mother, so I don't know how to flirt with girls? But Xiao Yan seems to be quite good at flirting with girls. Xiao Suner gave a sweet smile and looked at Xiao Yan. Brother Xiao Yan, your father said that you can finally practice in a few days. As long as you practice for a while, you will definitely surpass all those who mock you. Xiao Suner smiled and said softly. That slightly tender voice warms the heart and lungs. Let everyone understand what Chief Xiao Zhan is saying. Wait a moment, is there any previous two words in Suner's words? Suddenly, Xiao Zhan suddenly realized. He remembered to read the Dupo novel, which Suner had mentioned in the latter half of chapter 3. Xiao Yan used to sneak into Suner's room every night when she was 4 to 6 years old. Then, using a clumsy technique and a weak fighting aura on the bed, warm nourishment of her bones and meridians, every time causing Xiao Yan to sweat profusely. Just now I was tired and left. This pervert Xiao Yan actually made such a seductive move towards Sun Er when she was very young. It's truly enviable. No, it's frustrating. I really want to use my father's love iron fist to punch Xiao Yan and break his leg. Give it a good education. Xiao Yan suddenly broke out in cold sweat from behind, for some unknown reason. Xiao Zhan lifted the collar of Xiao Yan's clothes and said in a slightly angry voice. Let's go, father will explain to you the reason for your decline in cultivation. Xiao Yan's eyes were excited, and he grabbed his father's hand to quickly move away from the crowd mocking him. At the same time, he wanted to ask the truth in his father's room. Xiao Suner originally wanted to catch up, but was stopped by Xiao Yan. Sister Suner, you haven't tested your fighting spirit yet. You go first, I'll find you later. Okay. Brother Xiao Yan must find Sun Er. Xiao Zhan clearly felt a feeling of envy, jealousy, and hatred towards Xiao Yan, brewing in the crowd. Look at Xiao Yan, she has a beautiful girl or a goddess level. With a deep background, his father is a clan leader. What about them? Nothing. Xiao Yan dragged his father to his room. In fact, it was originally Xiao Zhan holding Xiao Yan's collar, but Xiao Yan was too eager to know the reason for his decline in cultivation. Seeing my father walking too slowly, I became very anxious, so I impolitely pulled him along. His emotions are very complex now. I am glad that my father knows why his cultivation has regressed and can cure it. Disappointed, the father may have been talking nonsense and didn't want his son to be ridiculed. Father, do you really know the reason why my strength decreased instead of increasing 3 years ago? Xiao Zhan thought for a moment and decided not to tell him the reason for Xiao Yan. Let's wait. Still responsible for cultivating his ability to cause trouble. He said earnestly and earnestly. We'll all know in a few days. Father, can you tell me in advance? If I were to know the reason for my decline in cultivation, I would definitely work hard to cultivate and become a genius of the past, returning to the peak once again. Let my father be happy. Xiao Yan is particularly good at this and will never give up. I have never been defeated before. Just like an indestructible Xiaoqiang. He himself has also said that life is harder than cockroaches. Wait. Okay, then wait a few days. After all, a lion that bites is not scary. What's scary is that this lion knows how to endure. Xiao Yan suddenly spoke in a feigned language. Yener is not a lion, but a dragon that can become the Emperor of Dou. Xiao Yan heard his father playing tricks with him, and his mouth curved upwards. Father, don't praise me. Let's talk about it when I become a lion. I'm just a cat now. Xiao Zhan felt it was time to deceive Xiao Yan and gradually cultivate his ability to cause trouble. But he didn't expect this speech to impress Xiao Yan. After all, he is a time traveler. Xiao Yan, who has lived for 2 lifetimes, is very intelligent. So don't expect to take it all at once, just make him believe that Dad is very strong and can cause trouble every day. Whatever happens, Dad will resist. Xiao Yan is not easy to deceive. He looked up at the sky outside the window at a 45-degree angle, resounding and powerful, and recited in front of him. Does my son know the pinnacle of cultivation in the mainland? Xiao Zhan looked at Xiao Yan's awe-stricken expression. I don't know. Foolish son, Dou Di. Xiao Zhan said word by word with great care. And the black antique ring in Xiao Yan's hand suddenly flickered with white light. No one noticed. In the future, my son Xiao Yan will become Emperor Dou. Don't tell me, why is your father so confident? Because soldiers who don't want to become generals are not good soldiers, they don't even have the dream of becoming emperor. How can Yan Er call herself emperor? Now Yenner's strength has declined, but my father knows the reason. It will take about a few days for Yenner's strength to soar. Besides, my son Xiao Yan is the first genius of Wutan City, and he will definitely be able to proclaim himself emperor in the future. Heaven doesn't give birth to me, Xiao Sanlang. The sky will last forever like a long night. Xiao Zhan paused for a moment. Why is Yan Er called Sanlang? Oh, at the beginning, 3 cheap sons were given away for free. De Lang Xiao Ding, Er Lang, Xiao Li, and San Lang Xiao Yan. He regained his senses and spoke the last sentence in the most inspiring tone. My son Xiao Yan has the talent of a great emperor. What my father said made me feel refreshed and at ease. Xiao Yan suddenly felt a bit overwhelmed with tears and laughter. I'm really sorry that my father said such an exciting thing, even though I'm just a waste. Yenner really can't finish what she just said. Don't lose heart, Yenner. To be honest, what Xiao Zhan said is true. It is destined that Xiao Yan will become the Emperor of Dou in the future. Don't worry, Yenner. After tomorrow, you will start practicing. In 30 years, no. It doesn't take 30 years, less than 20 years is enough to become the Dou Emperor. Father, really? Don't scare me. It's you who scared me. How dare you cause trouble if you don't think you're amazing? How can I capture the goddess if you don't cause trouble? End of this chapter. Chapter 3. Samadhi True Fire, can suppress all fires in the world. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. Samadhi True Fire, can suppress 10,000 flames in the world. Request to check in. Xiao Zhan suddenly spoke seriously. Yenner, are you 15 years old? Well, father. In another year, it seems like it's time for the coming of age ceremony. Yes, father, there is still 1 year left. Xiao Yan clenched his palm and said calmly. When he said the 4 words of coming of age ceremony, Xiao Zhan's thoughts couldn't help but drift into the distance. He remembered that when he was 18 years old, he had a birthday party with his parents. Originally, drinking was not allowed before the age of 18, but we can drink with our father afterwards. At the age of 18, it was not allowed to find a girlfriend, but later my mother asked if she wanted to find a gentle and virtuous girlfriend. Don't look for beautiful ones, just be gentle and virtuous enough. And he also knows what the Xiao family's coming of age ceremony represents. As long as he passes the rite of adulthood, Xiao Yan, who has no potential for cultivation, will be assigned to various industries in the family to take care of some ordinary things. This is the family rules. Even if he is the leader, it cannot be changed. Xiao Zhan looked at the calm Xiao Yan, who supported and encouraged him. Yenner, you will definitely become a fighting spirit in a year. 7 Dan. Father, take good care of you. Father, I will work hard. In a year, I will definitely reach the chi of 7 Dan Dou. Xiao Zhan patted Xiao Yan's shoulder. 1 year, 4 sections. Come on. It takes an ordinary person a year to upgrade to 1 section. In fact, for Xiao Yan, who is born in 4 stages a year, to be honest, he has no problem with being born in 8 stages a year, and being promoted to a doja is a piece of cake. At this moment, Xiao Zhan suddenly remembered that tomorrow would be the day when Nalan Yanran withdrew. There's a good show to watch. He looked at Xiao Yan, and Xiao Yan also looked at his father. It's getting late, go back and rest. Tomorrow, there are distinguished guests in the family, so don't be impolite. Who is the distinguished guest? I'll know tomorrow. Xiao Zhan smiled calmly and asked Xiao Yan not to play with his Sunner sister. We should focus on cultivation and not always stay in the gentle countryside of women. And Xiao Yan is also very awesome. He needs to practice hard. He is a training machine that is not close to women and has no feelings. At this moment, 3 unwelcome guests arrived. Big Elder, Second Elder, Third Elder is here. You came here to tell me that if Xiao Yan doesn't have the chi of fighting 7 in a year, then I will give way to the most capable person in the family to inherit the position of clan leader. The elder nodded. And the 3 elders didn't stay much longer, so they left. Just a cruel sentence from the elder before leaving. Elder Ben waited for a few days, and the scene of Xiao Yan still being a waste. Xiao Zhan always felt like there was something in Big Elder's words, as if he was someone who incited everyone to mock Yan Er. But it's also normal, after all, his daughter was watched by Xiao Yan taking a shower and even touching her legs. Who does Xiao Yan mock without mocking him? Xiao Zhan took out the pill from his sleeve and swallowed it directly. It feels a bit sweet, chicken-flavored, and crispy. He looked in the mirror. He is a middle-aged man dressed in luxurious grey clothes. It looks quite majestic. A pair of thick eyebrows on his face added a touch of pride. System, returning to old age and using Tong Dan is useful. Are you afraid you're not lying to me? I'm still a middle-aged man. Get up tomorrow, it will be useful, okay, but let's start looking at the top rewards in the system space now. I can't wait. White subtitles appeared in front of Xiao Zhan. Name: Xiao Zhan, race. Human race, cultivation. 5-star Big Dipper Master, treasure. None, fighting technique. Wild Lion Angry Gang, Danyao. None, bloodline. None, prop. None, function. System space, I always feel like there's something missing. Has the duty bloodline of the Xiao family been removed? Forget it, with the system, don't think about the duty bloodline anymore. He clicked on the system space. The system space appears in front of us, with small squares. There are 4 big characters written in the first square. Samadhi's true fire. Is this system giving oneself Samadhi true fire because my son Xiao Yan will be Emperor Yan in the future, so naturally he will be better at playing with fire than him. My son is Emperor Yan, who controls all kinds of flames. Naturally, my son wants to become the master of all flames. In the future, perhaps I can call myself the Flame Lord. It's true that father is stronger than son, but ginger is still old and spicy. My foolish fool, your father's fire is stronger than yours. After all, Samadhi true fire seems to be a powerful thief. At the beginning of the Hongmeng era, the flood and famine began to bloom, and the 10 primordial fires were nurtured in heaven and earth, evolving into the most primitive fire sources between heaven and earth. Merge into the top 10 main fires between heaven and earth, with a power that intimidates all the fires in the world. And among the 10 main fires, there is the Samadhi true fire. The red child in Journey to the West is Sun Wukong, who was burned by the true fire of Samadhi, and fled with his head in his arms. How to cultivate? According to Xiao Zhan's years of reading novels, he naturally knows. There are three types of fire in the human body. The upper is the fire of the ruler, the middle is the fire of the minister, and the lower is the fire of the people. The fire of the heart is also known as divine fire, also known as supreme ignorance. The kidney is the subject of fire, also known as the essence fire, and its name is zhongming. The bladder, which refers to the sea of qi under the navel, is also known as the fire of the people, and its name is xiaming. Gathering and turning into fire, dispersing and turning into qi, ascending and descending and circulating to form the path of the heavens. How to do it specifically? Simply put, it means the spiritual light shining alone in the heart, focusing on one point without being distracted, being empty but not guarding, as if guarding is not guarding, condensing but not dispersing. It is extremely difficult to achieve, unless one has exceptional talent, just like Neza and Red Boy, mortal cultivation is even more difficult. So, will this fire come for cultivation? Yes, can we switch to another one? For example, the other 9 of the world's top 10 primordial fires are the Sun True Fire, Taiyin True Fire, Nanmingli Fire, Luding Divine Fire, Ziwei Heavenly Fire, Jiutian Xian Fire, Honglian Industry Fire, Yuming Ghost Fire, and Nirvana Fire. No. The other 9 primordial fires require the host to cultivate Xiao Yan into a fighting spirit before they can be obtained. Does the system really have no chance at all? Not available. But I don't have a good temper. If I practice, I won't be able to completely calm down. It's easy to get restless and restless. I always think about other things. The system can help the host condense the true fire of Samadhi. We have already begun to help the host condense the true fire of Samadhi. By the way, the host's strange fire is controlled by Neza Red Child. Is that so? Why did the system cultivate Xiao Yan to the level of Douling in order to obtain other primordial flames? Because Xiao Yan was a great fighter in the 3-year contract battle with Nailan Yanran, the host's son must not have the same level of cultivation as his son in the original work, starting to condense the true fire of Samadhi. At this moment, Xiao Zhan suddenly sensed a divine fire flowing into the dantian in his heart. A stream of essence fire flows into the dantian in the kidney. A wave of civilian fire flowed into dantian in the bladder. 3 flames automatically merge together. Samadhi's true fire is enough, is it that simple? Xiao Zhan drives the Samadhi true fire within the dantian and places it in his hand. The flame that cannot be extinguished is constantly burning. Xiao Zhan used Samadhi true fire and burned a whole piece of gold on the wooden table, worth several 100,000 soft coins. The power of Samadhi true fire is quite good, surprisingly melting such a hard steel sword. He controlled Samadhi true fire to burn gold into the shape he wanted. 10 big characters. Xiao Zhan is a formidable little character. He smiled slightly, withdrew the Samadhi true fire from his body, and without relying on the system's help, prepared to practice again, relying on himself to condense the Samadhi true fire. But aren't you invincible with the other 9 fundamental fires? At this moment, a sudden wave of drowsiness swept over. Did the pill that changed back to its original body take effect? The sunlight shone on his face, it was already tomorrow. He got off the bed, walked up to the mirror, and took a look. Looking into the mirror, the mirrored figure had black and shiny vertical hair, distinct facial features, slanted and arched sword eyebrows, and slender, sharp black eyes. Just be more handsome than Xiao Yan. Unfortunately, it's not like Leonardo, little Liz is handsome, or as beautiful as Byrne, who is an angel when young and a god when old. Of course, I still prefer Xiao Zhan's charming demeanor, but it seems like we need a mask, we must disguise ourselves as Xiao Zhan. My own image is not easy to deceive Xiao Yan. Try to let Xiao Yan cause trouble as soon as possible, so that I can become stronger and capture the goddess. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Cloud charm is too beautiful. Check-in request. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4, Cloud Charm is Too Beautiful. Check-in request, he washes, dresses, and takes care of everything. Xiao Zhan remembers that this afternoon, Nalan Yanran will come with Elder Guyi of Yunlan's sect to get married. Xiao Zhan is eating breakfast delicacies, such as xiaolong soup dumplings. He looked at them placed in the plate. This small steamed bun is exquisite and looks very nice. From a distance, more than a dozen flawless white dumplings were tightly clustered together. You are next to me, I am next to you, and the feeling of pinching is extremely good. In the thin mist, Xiaolong Tengbao seems to be even more likable. Up close, the white and tender small steamed buns are full and moist. Well, it looks very delicious. And that skin is very delicate, just like a beautiful woman's snow-white skin, soft and elastic. Through the outer skin, one can clearly see the pure and beautiful milky white soup inside. This small steamed bun not only looks good, but also tastes very good. As the saying goes, gently move, slowly lift, open the window first, then drink soup. However, Xiao Zhan was too hungry to manage so much. Looking at the delicious small soup dumplings, he was already hungry. He grabbed the soup bag and stuffed it into his mouth. Xiao Zhan bit on the tender head of Baozi and took a gentle bite of the skin. Suddenly, milk and white juice poured into his mouth. So mellow, so smooth, so fragrant. He was immersed in the wonderful world. When he responded, there was no Xiaolong Bao in the plate. The speed of eating Xiaolong Bao is as fast as lightning, and it moves like thunder. Detected that Nalan Yanran is coming to divorce, please ask the host to resolve it. Let the child not be bullied. No problem, I am Xiao Yan's good father. Although I have no blood relationship, I do love Xiao Yan, this cheap son. Completing tasks will earn rewards, due to Nalan Yanran being protected by the leader of Yunlan's sect, Dou Huang Yunyun. Adhering to the principle that father's love is like a mountain, father must win. So the host will have the strength to defeat the Yunyun 3-star Dou Huang. The cultivation will reach 5-star Dou Huang. Oh my goodness, did I start as a 5-star emperor? That's great, isn't it? System brother, you're amazing. But isn't Yunyun the 5-star emperor? Oh, Xiao Yan met Yunyun around a year and a half in the Warcraft Mountains. At that time, Yunyun's cultivation was the 5-star emperor. Suddenly, Xiao Zhan felt a huge fighting spirit gathering in Dantian. Crazy self-enhancement realm. 6-star Big Dipper Master, 7-star Big Dipper Master. They are already doling. Can be filled with gas condensate, solid. 1-star doling, 2-star doling. Already the Dou King. Duki turns wings and mobilizes a small amount of energy from the external space. 1-star Dou King, 2-star Dou King. Forge a 5-star Dou Emperor. It can mobilize a large amount of external energy with the same attribute, without relying on external forces to stay in the void for a short time. This. Feeling the unprecedented sense of power within his body, Xiao Zhan felt a bit dreamy. However, this force is so real and so powerful. However, my original identity was as a 5-star fighting master. Is it unacceptable for me to suddenly be promoted to the 5-star fighting emperor? What about him? In this competitive continent, strength is king. As long as one is strong enough, there is no need to care about the opinions of others. The same principle applies to capturing goddesses, as one only needs strength to qualify for pursuing those beautiful women. But how to prevent Xiao Yan from being bullied when he withdraws? That's just not withdrawing directly, right? It's okay then. But according to Xiao Yan's temperament, if he knew that Nalan Yanran saw him as useless before withdrawing, he would definitely divorce his wife. That is to say, today we will directly terminate our engagement and discuss with Yunyun, the head of Yunlan's sect, as the Emperor Dou, to establish a 3-year agreement. In the future, Nalan Yanran and Xiao Yan will duel in Yunlan's sect. Whoever loses will kowtow to their elders and admit their mistake. After all, it is up to the elders to make decisions about marriage. If you want to terminate the engagement, it will make the elders lose face, so you naturally have to apologize and kowtow to them. If Xiao Yan loses, he will kowtow to Yun Yun, the leader of Yunlan's sect. Besides, the men have gold under their knees, and they have earned it. And Nalin Yanran kowtowed in front of herself, admitting her mistake. It seems quite enjoyable, as if but since Xiao Zhan has traveled through time, it is impossible for Xiao Yan to have any romantic luck. None of the goddesses will let Xiao Yan steal. Except for Xiao Suner. Xiao Zhan flew for a while before arriving at Yunlan's sect. Wear a faceless mask at the same time. To avoid exposing one's own rejuvenation situation. He saw Douhuang Yunyun waiting for him in the Yunlan sect service hall, along with several elders. Xiao Zhan scattered his golden wings behind him and stood on the ground. Looking at the woman in blue sitting on the king's chair. I saw this graceful and luxurious Yunyun, wearing a long green dress. The rough contours of the valleys and peaks between them were faintly visible, and the faint temptation made people ponder endlessly. The full and crispy chest that was about to burst out, and the elusive and exquisite jade legs, were truly heart-wrenching, like flowers in the mist, the moon in the water, making it impossible for people to see clearly and want to reach out and touch. Looking up, it is a pure and elegant appearance that has emerged from the dust, a body that is provocative and elegant. A graceful and noble face, intertwined with different styles. A body full of snow-white skin, as if it has never experienced the baptism of sunlight. The erect delicate body exudes an astonishing S-shaped curve in the thin veil, making it difficult for any man to control himself. Yun Yunmei's eyes widened in shock as she looked at the young man in front of her. At a young age, I am already a Douhuang. Xiao Zhan's gaze couldn't help but be drawn to the beautiful legs of Yun Yun and the snow-white mountain peak, and finally shifted to his elegant and beautiful face. This imperial sister Yun Yun is really beautiful and feminine enough. I don't know who you are. Looking at you, at a young age of 18 or 19, you already have a Douhuang cultivation. Even 5 stars. I am Xiao Yan's father Xiao Zhan. Yun Yun's beautiful eyes widened, while the other elders were even more shocked. Isn't Xiao Yan's father a 5-star master? And he's also a middle-aged man. Xiao Zhan ignored Elder Yunling's words. Actually, I have been hiding my cultivation all along. But I heard that Nalin Yanran is coming to divorce. I will definitely come and uphold justice for my child. It's not that Nalin Yanran withdrew, but that my son Xiao Yan divorced his wife. Can it be possible? Elder Yunling, upon seeing this powerful Douhuang, ignored his own words and dared not speak up. The strong are like this, tough. I can completely ignore the feelings of weaker enemies than him. The strong only think about the forces behind threatening the weak. Can they afford to provoke themselves? Yun Yun frowned slightly, and this statement made her feel uncomfortable. But she was not angry, instead she was very calm, lightly lifting her vermilion lips and saying, "Then let's just terminate the engagement directly. However, I want to withdraw from the marriage with a sweet smile, instead of Xiao Yan divorcing his wife." It's impossible. My son Xiao Yan wouldn't suffer such injustice. My son can only be bullied by me and won't be bullied by others. After this sentence was spoken, Yun Yun and Yunling suddenly saw a hint of a good father's image. Let's do it this way. Then make a 3-year agreement, and after 3 years, my son Xiao Yan will fight with your disciple Nalin Yanran. Whoever loses, kowtow to the elders in front of them and admit their mistake. After all, my son Xiao Yan and Nalin Yanran have arranged a baby marriage, and Nalin Yanran's withdrawal naturally means she is sorry for her elders. Xiao Zhan said calmly. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. The Benefits of Pain Mask, Check-in Request. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5, The Benefits of Pain Mask, Check-in Request. Yun was angry, but still nodded. This person was right. And she doesn't think that the person in front of her with similar cultivation can cultivate a useless person to be better than herself. Moreover, he is still the leader of the strongest Yunlan sect in the Gama Empire. She also won't easily show weakness. Do you seem confident in your son? Hehe, it's not about confidence, it's about certainty. Because Xiao Yan has extremely strong talent. Although he is a little useless now, one day he will be able to amaze everyone. Stop talking nonsense, write a letter and let me bring it over. I'll go in person. I happen to see what my beloved fiancé Yan looks like. After all, you said this person has good talent, but now he's just a waste. I'm sorry to trouble you for coming. Yun had already taken her pen and ink, tightly grasped her chalk with her Qianxian jade fingers, and finished writing. Xiao Yan's father hides his cultivation and his true strength is that of a 5-star fighting emperor. He asked Yan Ran to directly divorce you and make a 3-year agreement. After 3 years, Yun Lanzong will fight a decisive battle. Whoever wins will kneel and kowtow to their elders in front of them to admit their mistakes. Yan Ran is sure to win, so there's no need to worry. Xiao Zhan took a look, the font was neat, the handwriting was graceful, and every stroke was meticulous. Master Yun's handwriting is excellent. Hehe, I'm flattered. Yun handed the letter to the elder of the Douwang sect, who then handed the letter to Xiao Zhan. Do you have anything else to do? No, let's go. Behind Xiao Zhan, he spread his golden wings and flew towards the location of the Xiao family in Wutan City. Task completed. Obtain a reward pain mask. After wearing it. Active Skill 1, Pain. Once an attack hits an enemy, there will be piercing pain. Active Skill 2, Disguise. You can disguise yourself as you want. You can wear both clothes and face. The mask has been placed in the system space. This is not bad, not only does it have negative effects during attacks, but it can also hide identity, which is really good. And just as I wanted a mask, the system gave it to me. The system is really a good one. Just thinking about it makes me feel great. After arriving at the destination, Xiao Zhan fell down and dissipated the golden wings. This is the reception hall of the Xiao family, and he is wearing a mask. Disguise yourself as Xiao Zhan's original middle-aged man. He walked into the hall. This hall is very spacious, and there are also many people in it. Sitting at the top are 3 elderly people with indifferent faces. They are the 3 elders of the clan, with no less power than the clan leader. Under the left hand of the 4, sat some influential and powerful elders in the family, and beside them were also some young generations who had performed outstandingly in the family. When I saw Chief Xiao coming, everyone didn't say hello. The elder sneered. Xiao Zhan, why are you coming so late? What the hell are you doing? Xiao Zhan sat in his seat. I handled a small matter. Hehe, handle small matters. Do you know how big the situation is now? We need to entertain guests from Yunlan sect. Yunlan sect is the strongest sect in the Gama Empire. It's not impolite. Yeah, as the head of the Xiao family, I have to deal with even this small matter in front of big things. What a big smile. The second elder fanned the wind and ignited the fire on the side. Xiao Zhan didn't feel uncomfortable listening to these sarcastic remarks, but instead felt a hint of happiness and a smile on his lips. However, he is looking forward to the turning point in the future. What kind of turning point will happen when they know their strength? At that time, the expressions and attitudes on the faces of the elders will definitely be very exciting. I can't wait to see it. It's just that I can't be the king of strong tongues anymore, it's very annoying. On the other side, 2 strangers sat. They clenched their fists and said to Xiao Zhan. Hello, Chief Xiao. Xiao Zhan swept past the 2 strangers. Among the 2, there is an old man wearing a moon-white robe. The old man had a smile on his face, full of energy, and a pair of slightly small eyes, but they occasionally shone brightly. Xiao Zhan's gaze shifted slightly downwards and finally stopped on the old man's chest. At the chest of the old man's robe, there is a silver light moon prominently painted. Around the shallow moon, there are 7 shining stars dotted with golden light. He is a 7-star fighter. This old man's strength is even 2 stars higher than his previous strength. On the other side of the old man sat a girl in white. This young girl is about the same age as her son Xiao Yan. Her appearance is even more beautiful than Xiao Mei's. In this family, perhaps only Xiao Suner, who is like a green lotus, can compare with it. The delicate earlobes of the young girl were adorned with green jade pendants, swaying slightly and emitting a crisp jade sound, suddenly revealing a touch of delicacy. In addition, there are 2 Venus depicted on the girl's chest. 2-star Dou, and because of her beautiful appearance and impressive strength. This young girl has captivated some ignorant youths in her family, completely captivated. And at this moment, Xiao Yan arrived. Father, 3 elders. After greeting, Xiao Yan quickly stepped forward and respectfully bowed to the 4 people in charge. Xiao Zhan. Yener, here you are, sit down quickly. Watching Xiao Yan's arrival, Xiao Zhan nodded at him and waved his hand. Xiao Yan smiled and nodded, looking at the elders, and children who were very disgusted and disdainful of him. I don't feel much, I'm used to it. Xiao Yan turned around and scanned the hall, only to be surprised to find that he didn't have his own spot. Xiao Zhan condensed his fighting spirit into a chair. Let Xiao Yan sit down. Save him from making a fool of himself. Thank you very much, father. And when everyone saw this scene, they were surprised. Condensed into a substance. Isn't this the technique of doling? Is there a fighting spirit in this small city of Yutun? And it's also Chief Xiao Zhan. Is Xiao clan leader already a doling cultivator? Xiao Zhan looked at the elder Guyi of Yunlan's sect and responded. Well, my talent is just right, I've already been fighting spirit. When I learned that the clan leader is a doling powerhouse, because after becoming a doling, I am invincible in Yutun City. So the younger generation and children of the Xiao family dare not mock the Xiao clan leader anymore. Even the 3 most powerful elders in the family dare not speak up. They have increased their respect for Xiao Zhan by 3 points, showing respect for his strength. And yesterday's words, his child strength will soar in a few days. I was even more convinced by my strength. The children, elders, and elders of the Xiao family immediately disappeared from their mocking eyes towards Xiao Yan, the son of Xiao Zhan. After all, his father is a hidden spirit fighter who dare not provoke. Cough. Guyi coughed lightly, stood up, arched his hand at Xiao Zhan, and smiled, saying. Xiao, the main reason for coming to your family this time is to ask for something. Xiao Zhan crossed his legs and took 2 sips of tea. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Don't deceive the poor youth, my father is the Emperor of Dou. Thank you to the Emperor. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. Don't deceive the poor youth, my father is fighting the Emperor. Thank you to the invincible leader of the Emperor for his reward. Request to clock in, throw a letter onto the table in front of Nalan Yanran. Take a look, this was personally written by the leader of Yunlan sect. Regarding what you 2 came here to do today. When I heard the name of the head of Yunlan sect, the originally calm atmosphere suddenly became tense. Because Yunlan sect is the strongest sect of the Empress Dowager, and the leader of Yunlan sect is a powerful fighter against the Emperor. You can easily destroy them with just 1 sword. I dare not underestimate them. Nalan Yanran took a look at the letter. My master's father wrote it with his pen. Xiao clan chief is actually the 5-star fighting emperor. How could it be? Everyone on site widened their eyes and took a deep breath. They looked at the calm man drinking tea in surprise. Isn't this Xiao clan leader a 5-star Big Dipper? Why is cultivation so powerful? But what Lord Yun, the powerful Dou Huang, personally wrote must also be true and cannot be false. In an instant, everyone was convinced. Yesterday, Chief Xiao's words. Xiao Yan's strength improved rapidly in a few days. Xiao Yan is still in a state of shock. His father is actually a powerful fighter against the emperor. As his son, how could he not know? Isn't my father a 5-star master? He didn't know before, but now he knows that his father is very powerful, and he is actually a fighter against the emperor. Is it the feeling of being the son of Emperor Dou that everyone present turned their mockery and ridicule towards him into awe? And this means he can be reckless, cause trouble, and still be fine. It's quite enjoyable. It seems Xiao Zhan saw everyone in the reception hall looking at him. Even the goddess Xiao Suner, who had been watching Xiao Yan's brother all along, looked at her. It's quite embarrassing. What are you looking at me for? Is there anything on my face? There is indeed something. He looked at the shocked Nalan Yanran. Nalan's niece, our clan leader, knows that your purpose of coming today is to get married. So this morning, I flew to Yunlan's sect and asked Master Yun to cancel the engagement directly, and in 3 years' time, you will confront my son Xiao Yan, who loses and kowtow to the opponent's elders to admit their mistake. Do Yanran dare to fight? Nalan Yanran was so youthful and energetic that she casually said. Xiao clan leader, after a 3-year agreement, it is determined that Xiao Yan will kowtow to my master to apologize. Did Nalan Yanran not understand the situation? She must have kowtowed and admitted her mistake. I am looking forward to the future leader of Yunlan's sect kneeling in front of me, kowtowing and admitting his mistake. It's a bit satisfying to think about it, but I'm sure I won't really do it then. At most, let Nalan Yanran say a few words. I regret my divorce, Nalan Yanran, so I shouldn't have. I didn't expect Xiao Yan to be so powerful. But without his father Xiao Zhan's assistance, how could Xiao Yan possibly defeat me? This feeling is great. Upon hearing Nalan Yanran's words, although Xiao Yan felt angry, he did not become furious. Xiao Yan strode up and bowed respectfully to his father Xiao Zhan. Then he turned to face Nalan Yanran, took a deep breath, and calmly spoke up, asking. Miss Nalan, how could I kowtow after 3 years? Xiao Yan advises you a few words. 30 years in the east and 30 years in the west, don't deceive young people into poverty. My father is the Emperor of Dou. Xiao Yan almost shouted out that his father was Emperor Dou. But fortunately, he is very stable. I almost turned my classic quote into something else. In the future, my path of cultivation will be smooth sailing, at least within the realm of Emperor Dou. Just like your master, the leader of Yunlan's sect. Although you have more cultivation resources than I do, I don't believe my talent can defeat you. After all, when I was 12 years old, I was a star fighter, and you were just an 8-dan do chi. With a single remark, everyone in the hall was stunned. Who could have imagined that this useless Xiao Yan was so powerful? Moreover, Xiao Yan's father is a Dou Huang, which makes everyone feel that what Xiao Yan said is extremely credible. Everything he just said may be the arrogance of a young man, but his father, who is the Emperor Dou, has established the truth. Xiao Yan's harsh words made Nalan Yanran's delicate body tremble lightly. Staring at the young man in front of him with a sneer, Nalan Yanran was spoiled all year round. Who has ever been said so by peers? At present, my head was dizzy with anger, and my slightly childish voice was also somewhat sharp. He, you must kowtow to me in 3 years. Even if your previous talents were unmatched, now you are just a waste. 3 years from now, you may be strong, but Nalan is stronger. Nalan Yanran's beautiful eyes were wide open, and her angry face was rosy. At this moment, Xiao Yan suddenly took out the engagement on the table. Tear it apart. From now on, Nalan Yanran and I have no engagement again, and I have divorced you. Nalan Yanran looked at the torn marriage letter in half and shouted angrily. Hee, it's me who broke out. Then he looked at Xiao Zhan. Uncle Xiao, you are a good father. Yan apologizes to you for today's incident. If you have time in the future, please visit Nalan's house. Xiao Zhan did not answer. He thinks that if he were to visit Nalan's house, wouldn't this be the rhythm of meeting his parents? I'm sorry about that. She bowed respectfully to Xiao Zhan's indifferent face, and Nalan Yanran didn't want to stay any longer. She stood up and walked towards the outsider in the hall. Later, Gui quickly followed. At this moment, a golden wing suddenly emerged from behind Xiao Zhan. Hello, niece Nalan, as a father, my son has been divorced. Should I do something? At least give my child some compensation, right? Nalan Yanran saw the golden wings and smiled calmly. Didn't you expect Xiao Yan's father to be so protective of the calf? Xiao clan chief, these are the 3 Juki pills from my special zone, specially used as compensation. I accidentally forgot about them just now. This is refined by Gu He, the 5th grade alchemist of our sect, so the pill color is excellent and the effect is excellent. Thank you very much. Xiao Zhan then withdrew his golden wings and handed 3 Juki powder to Xiao Yan and Xiao Suner. Later, he embarked on the journey of searching for the stunning imperial sister Yun Yun. Spread golden wings behind and fly towards the sky. Xiao Zhan remembers that Yun Yun's first appearance in the original work was in the Warcraft Mountains. As the Emperor of Dou, Yun Yun fought against the purple crystal-winged Lion King, who was also the Emperor of Dou. But it caught the seal light of the purple crystal-winged Lion King. Yun Yun was seriously injured and her entire cultivation was sealed. Only the fighting spirit strength remains. Xiao Yan, who had been watching the battle all along, saved Yun Yun and applied some medicine. Something bad happened, which made Yun Yun never forget this young man and even fell in love with Xiao Yan. Thank you, father. Thank you, Chief Xiao. However, Suner doesn't need it anymore. Let's give it to brother Xiao Yan who needs it even more. Brother Xiao Yan can sell money to buy more cultivation resources. Seeing that Sun Er didn't want such a rare thing, Xiao Zhan was somewhat puzzled. This is a great thing that can directly promote a fighter from the 9th stage of Dou Qi. Why doesn't Xiao Suner want it? P.S. Thank you for the reward from our invincible boss. The little eagle directly adds 2 more watches for the boss, not much BB. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. Pindad, enjoying life by gnawing on old salted fish. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. Pindad, enjoying life with old salted fish. Looking for recommended tickets. Oh, Xiao Suner is not a child of the Xiao family, but the strongest ancient lady among the 8 ancient tribes. The head of the ancient tribe, the daughter of the 9-star peak fighting Saint Gu Yuan. Nature doesn't appreciate this kind of gas-gathering dispersion. It's better to sell money to brother Xiao Yan and buy cultivation resources. But the elder suddenly grabbed the hand of the Xiao clan leader, Xiao clan chief. My son Xiao Ning has not yet been promoted to a fighter, so he needs it very much. Can you transfer it to me? I can exchange it for money. Hearing this tone, Xiao Zhan was very strange. Aren't everyone members of the Xiao clan? Do you still need to use money to exchange it? Oh, is this? He used to be indifferent to me and despised me as the clan leader. Now that the clan leader is fighting the emperor, but instead being polite and unable to climb high. Okay. Here you are, no money. The elder was overjoyed and thought he was the head of the Xiao family. The lion will speak loudly, seeking wealth beyond the value of gathering qi and dispersing energy. After all, he was targeted by 2 elders before. Even if he is the clan leader and doesn't hold any grudges, he still has some reservations. But I didn't expect Xiao Zhan to be so magnanimous. Thank you, clan leader. However, yesterday the clan leader said that my son Xiao Yan has the talent of the great emperor, and I am somewhat convinced. No, I did tell a huge lie to everyone yesterday. Yan Er only has the ability to fight the Emperor at most. No, 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 Chief Xiao didn't lie yesterday. Who said he lied? Stand up and apologize to Chief Xiao. Everyone fell silent and turned their heads to one side, because they all privately said that Chief Xiao was a big scammer. Xiao Zhan was a bit speechless. These people flipped their faces faster than flipping a book. Forget it, don't worry about that much anymore. At this moment, Xiao Mei's beautiful eyes greedily looked at the qi-gathering powder in Xiao Yan's hand. She pleaded in her obedient and charming tone. Cousin Xiao Yan, can you give me that bottle of gas-gathering powder? Oh. You used to be indifferent to me, but now my dad is Dou Huang. You can't stand it anymore. Want to gather qi and disperse. Dream it. Xiao Yan's tone was very arrogant. After all, he had been mocked for 3 years. Knowing that my father is actually a powerful fighter for the Emperor, I feel a bit inflated. Xiao Zhan, on the other hand, hit Xiao Yan with a brainwave and exclaimed. Yener, give it to her. Don't be crazy. Okay, look at it. 3 years ago, cousin Xiao Mei, you were infatuated with me. Here you are. Xiao Yan pretended to be cool and smiled. After Xiao Mei took it, she actually hugged Xiao Zhan directly with her Qianqian jade hand. Thank you, clan leader. The clan leader is really a good person. Cousin Xiao Yan is so stingy. Xiao Zhan silently pushed aside Xiao Mei's fragrant shoulder, his hands and clothes stained with a hint of Xiao Mei's unique fragrance. Well, hurry up and practice. Strive for my son Xiao Yan, as well as Xiao Mei and Xiao Ning, to reach the doja as soon as possible. Xiao Yan, elder, Xiao Mei bowed to herself. Thank you very much, father. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Chief Xiao. After bowing, Xiao Yan said. Father, I went to practice. Then I left. The young man's back was stretched out in the sunlight, as if foreshadowing his future success as the Emperor of Dou. At this moment, everyone is completely focused on Xiao Zhan. Because they only know that Chief Xiao Zhan is a 5-star warrior. But he is actually a 5-star emperor, and he is as young and strong as an 18-year-old boy. It's not difficult to deceive the children of the Xiao family, but surprisingly, Xiao Zhan deceived both the elders and elders of the Xiao family. Everyone thought that Xiao Zhan was just a 5-star fighter. This Xiao Zhan's acting is so terrifying. It's terrifying. Xiao Zhan originally planned to have a few sips of tea and some delicious pastries in the reception hall. But seeing everyone looking at me with a surprised gaze, I don't know why. It's a bit scary. Even a bit scary. Although their reactions were all due to being too coquettish. A middle-aged man with a 5-star master is actually a 5-star emperor. So Xiao Zhan didn't stay any longer, just finished drinking the tea. He doesn't like others staring at him. Then I planned to go and see if my son Xiao Yan had practiced. If this kid knew that his father was actually a powerful fighter, as long as he stayed in Yutun City, he would never be bullied. It is possible to enjoy pleasure every day. Relying on hard work and gnawing on old age to survive the rest of my life. That would be wonderful. I also want this kind of salted fish to enjoy life. Isn't Pindad fragrant? But how could he cause trouble then? How can I become stronger and have top-notch rewards? Then take Queen Medusa, Imperial Sister Yun Yun, and the beauty Yafei. What about all the goddesses who have been defeated and taken into the harem? So we still have to let Xiao Yan cause trouble every day. At this moment, Xiao Zhan had already firmly established an idea in his heart. To deceive Xiao Yan into thinking that his father is invincible in the world. You can easily cause trouble. Only when Xiao Yan can cause trouble can he quickly become stronger. Take all the goddess Dupo into your bag. As for where Xiao Yan is now, it seems to be on the mountain wall behind the Xiao family. Xiao Zhan walked towards there. Xiao Yan left the hall according to his usual habits. When encountering sad things, I come to the back mountain to relax, but today doesn't seem like a sad thing. Although I was divorced, it was myself who divorced Nalan Yanran. And my father is also a strong fighter against the emperor. Mad, why should you be sad? Xiao Yan couldn't understand why he was sad. Oh. I still don't know the reason for the decline in cultivation. My father said it in a few days, and he found out. Let's ask Emperor Dou's father later. He slowly climbed up the back mountain of his family and sat on the mountain wall. Looking calmly at the steep mountains shrouded in mist on the opposite side, where is the famous Warcraft mountains of the Gamma Empire. Strength. In this world, without strength, not even a pile of dog shit is worth it. At least, no one dares to step on dog shit. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Is this the Holy Father's love? Please recommend it. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. Is this sacred fatherly love? Please ask for a recommendation ticket. The young man's deep self-deprecating laughter, accompanied by grief and anger, slowly lingered on the mountaintop. Upon hearing these words, Xiao Zhan originally intended to comfort Xiao Yan's dear old father with a few words. Oh, but what surprised me the most was that my father was actually a powerful fighter against the emperor. I never knew. My father's hiding was deep enough, it was truly terrifying. Having such a father makes me feel at ease. It seems like I can play with my father in the future. In the future, when encountering particularly formidable enemies, I will directly ask my father to help me hang and beat them. As long as I don't provoke the powerful Emperor Dou, my father can easily handle it. But let's try to rely on ourselves for everything. If it's not in case, try not to sacrifice your father. Not bad, Xiao Yan is already fond of fighting for his father. When he encounters someone he can't beat, he thinks about fighting for his father. It seems that he can quickly become stronger. At this moment, the sharp-eyed Xiao Yan discovered his father. Father is here. What can I do to find Yener? Behind Xiao Zhan, he spread out his golden wings and flew to Xiao Yan, who was also on the mountain wall. He sat down and dissipated the golden wings. In 3 years' time, Yener should be able to defeat Nalan Yanran, right? Father, don't worry. I can definitely do it. Can you be a ghost? You don't even know the reason for your cultivation decline now. How can you beat it? How did Sanlang's mysterious confidence come about? Xiao Yan awkwardly scratched his head. Father, you asked me to wait a few days to find out the reason for my cultivation decline. Can you tell me now? That's almost it. The reason why my father came here is to tell Yener. Xiao Yan's mouth curved upwards, even tilting to his nose, feeling extremely happy. He can finally turn from a waste to a genius. And Xiao Zhan planned to call out the bad old man who turned his child into a waste, was humiliated by others, and sucked on his child's cultivation. Give it a good lesson. Although it is said that after Yao Lao, Xiao Yan will become the Emperor of Dou in the future. But as Xiao Yan's father, when he saw his child being bullied, he always wanted to help him seek revenge. Since crossing into Xiao Yan's father's body, Xiao Zhan has unconsciously been infected with a layer of sacred fatherly love. As the saying goes, love grows over time, and his thoughts gradually change. Unconsciously wanting to protect children from being bullied by others, the feeling of being a new father. It's average, but fortunately, some people call themselves dad, and it feels okay. However, Xiao Yan was waiting for his father to explain the reason for his decline in cultivation. He widened his eyes, ears perked up, looking very excited. However, Xiao Yan kept staring at Xiao Zhan's head, making him feel uncomfortable all over. Sure enough, it's only when a beautiful woman looks at his head that she feels comfortable, right? At this moment, Xiao Zhan saw the steep mountain range shrouded in mist in the distance, and felt a gentle breeze blowing his face. It's really comfortable. System, help me condense the Samadhi true fire for the last time. I must practice well tonight. Try not to rely on you, so that I can easily condense the Samadhi true fire on my own. Good heart divine fire, kidney essence fire, bladder people fire, and 3 fires integrate into Dantian. Concentrate on one point without being lax, empty but not guarding, as if guarding but not guarding, condensing but not dispersing. The true fire of Samadhi has become Xiao Zhan drives the Samadhi true fire, approaching the black ring on Xiao Yan's finger. Don't burn the ring. Xiao Zhan then retracted the flames. Xiao Yan, on the other hand, had a shocked expression on his face. Is there anyone in my ring? In front of Xiao Yan, a transparent and elderly figure was floating above the ring. Yao Lao glanced at the person with the powerful abnormal fire. This person Xiao Zhan should be a 5-star fighting emperor powerhouse. Although he has fought well himself, it's better not to provoke him as much as possible. After all, now it's just a soul body with no physical support. Once attacked by a strange fire, the soul is extremely easy to dissipate. But he can provoke Xiao Yan, who is in the 3rd stage of Doji Qi. Although Xiao Zhan is his father, his strength is much stronger than the 5-star emperor. So there's no need to worry. Who are you? Why are you in my ring? What do you want to do? The little doll has good composure and surprisingly didn't jump off in fear. Yao Lao let out a teasing laugh. Don't worry about who I am, it won't harm you anyway. Ah, after all these years, I finally met someone who has passed the soul strength level. It's really lucky, hee. Pay attention to this hee. This is a detail. This represents that this person is very good at driving. However, I still have to thank you, this little doll, for 3 years of worship. Otherwise, I'm afraid I'll have to continue sleeping. Although I woke up with a startle on the way, Yao Lao glanced again at Xiao Zhan, who had discovered his existence. Yesterday, when Xiao Zhan and Xiao Yan were chatting, it seemed like one day I was not born, Xiao Sanlang, and the sky was as eternal as a night. My son Xiao Yan has the talent of a great emperor. This kind of arrogant words woke him up directly. And it seems that Xiao Zhan already knows his existence. Offering. Xiao Yan blinked in confusion, and after a moment, his small face suddenly became gloomy. The words of Mori Han popped out from between his teeth with difficulty. Are you the one who caused the inexplicable disappearance of Doji Qi in my body? Hee, I was also forced to be helpless, little doll, don't blame me. Sleeping Nima. My father burned this dead old man to death with fire. Looking at Xiao Yan, who was extremely angry and full of anger, Xiao Zhan didn't want to intervene. As soon as you say it, I'll do it. Am I really lacking face? Xiao Yanzi, are you teaching me how to do things? However, at this moment, the desire to protect Xiao Yan's fatherly love forced him to surrender. Suddenly, a Samadhi true fire enveloped the medicine elder. But Yao Lao was very calm. He used the bone spirit cold fire ranked 11th on the strange fire list to fight against. Used the power of the 5-star fighting emperor to activate the bone spirit cold fire. When the ice blue flame of the same level touches the Samadhi true fire of the same level, it is easily burned. Xiao Zhan not only sighed. Undoubtedly, it is one of the top 10 primordial fires in the world, capable of subduing countless flames. Yao Lao widened his eyes and took a cold breath. What's the situation? Can my strange fire be so easily defeated? What is your strange fire, kid? Why is it so powerful? And I've never heard of it. This is my secret that outsiders cannot know. Only my insiders can know. Yao Lao was very curious about the unnamed strange fire that could defeat the bone spirit cold fire. Tell me, if you tell me, I will definitely help your son become the strongest alchemist. As an alchemist, Yao Lao is particularly eager for the power of abnormal fire, because only by possessing a powerful abnormal fire can he better refine powerful pills. This is my unique secret recipe, it's not easy to tell. I didn't even tell my own son. My body has returned to its own. That's the godson. Yao Lao had no choice but to give up. After all, Xiao Zhan was a Dou Huang, although he didn't consider him too powerful in his eyes. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Which family is strong when deceiving your son? Fight through the sky and find Xiao Zhan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. Which family is strong when deceiving your son? Do put Sangqiong and find Xiao Zhan. Please ask for a recommendation ticket. But his inexplicable powerful strange fire is frightening. So it's better not to force him to explain the source of the strange fire. If you provoke him and engage in a fierce battle with him, although you will surely win, how can you be a soul body? Once injured, it's easy to hang up. Little life is important. But there is one more question. He is very puzzled. How do you know about my existence? My concealment can be said to be perfect, even if it's a peak battle, it's impossible to detect. Not to be disclosed. When the 4 words were spoken, Xiao Yan suddenly felt that his father had become much more mysterious. Previously, he disguised himself as a 5-star fighter. The actual cultivation turned out to be the 5-star fighting emperor. And now his father can actually see through the disguise that even the peak Dou Huang cannot see through at a glance. How powerful is one's own father? Dozong. Yao Lao is also very puzzled. How can this 5-star Emperor Xiao Zhan see his disguise? He is the medicine lord, medicine dust. The strength can reach the peak of the 9-star Dozuan. Although it is a soul body, the soul is absolute and powerful. He can guarantee that the alchemist may not be strong anywhere, but his soul strength is absolutely amazing. And just now, the peak fighting emperor, even the peak fighting sect, the peak fighting master. Medicine dust can also ensure that they don't see through themselves hidden in this quaint black ring. Only Dou Sheng can see through his disguise. But why can he see it? A small 5-star battle emperor. Is it difficult for him to disguise his strength? He is a saint fighting powerhouse. Yao Qin nodded unconsciously, confirming this conjecture. Xiao Zhan looked at Yao Lao and Xiao Yan, who seemed very puzzled about him. I can't even see clearly what my cultivation is. He suddenly felt it was time to deceive his son and Yao Qin again. Xiao Yan must understand one thing. His father is invincible in the world. You can cause trouble as you please. If it happens, father will take responsibility. As long as Xiao Yan causes trouble quickly enough, he can quickly become stronger and directly take the Dopa goddess home. Just that Yun Yun, Medusa, Yafei and so on. Don't try to escape my clutches. Unconsciously, his right hand pressed on Xiao Yan's head and whispered. Yener, in fact, my father's cultivation is not just about fighting the emperor. Xiao Yan raised his head in a daze. Silly son. I am the strongest member of the ancient 8 major tribes of the Xiao clan in the Duqi continent, the unparalleled Tianjiao, Xiao Zhan. I am also the only person in the Xiao family who awakens the Dudi bloodline. Although the descendants of the Xiao tribe in Wutan City are as weak as ants, but Yan Er can believe that being a father is beyond imagination. At just over 30 years old, he is already the strongest person on this continent. After hearing the term 8 ancient tribes, Yao Qin was shocked. Because he is the descendant of the 8 ancient medicinal tribes. And in this small empire, does anyone actually know about this kind of thing? This matter may not be known to anyone in the empire. And the person in front of me actually knew that it was truly shocking. I couldn't help but take a cold breath. Xiao Yan looked at the strong old man who could survive in his soul form with a shocked and convinced expression, and also basically believed his father's words. Even if my father talks wild nonsense, he can't help but not believe it. Xiao Zhan continued. Your mother is a beautiful ordinary person. She sees me as very powerful and wants to marry me together. And I do have a slight liking for your mother, so I have been hiding my name for over 30 years, accompanying your mother in this small Xiao family. But she died due to difficult childbirth. After a sigh, he lifted his head, his face filled with a sense of desolation. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Is he surprisingly a 9-star peak fighting saint strong? Recommended. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10, Is he surprisingly a 9-star peak fighting saint strong? Please ask for a recommendation ticket. Xiao Yan stared blankly at his father and nervously said. Father, what level have you reached? You shouldn't really be the Emperor of Dou, right? Because my father once said yesterday, my son Xiao Yan has the talent of a great emperor. My father is Emperor Dou, and as a son, he should have the wealth of a great emperor. Xiao Zhan lowered his head and looked at his son with a mysterious smile. What do you think? My foolish son. I stayed with my father for 15 years before I found out. I still don't know your father's cultivation level. Hiss. Sure enough, upon hearing such remarks, Xiao Yan took a deep breath of cold air and almost died on the spot. He may not have absolute trust in his father, but his father used to be a 5-star master and now he is the 5-star emperor. And the expression on this old man, who had been cultivating him for 3 years, is now completely convinced. Moreover, the recent events have been too shocking, and he has chosen to believe this absurd statement. Yao Chen analyzed and said. Nowadays, the Dou Emperor of the Dou Qi continent has long dissipated. Only the peak 9-star Dou saint can be found. If you want to become the Dou Emperor, you can only obtain the treasure of the Tuoshegu Emperor. Are you the 9-star peak Dou saint? Yao Chen immediately used his soul to explore Xiao Zhan's strength. Detected abnormality, Joshing peak Dozuan Yao Chen wants to explore the host's strength. Based on the principle that father's love is like a mountain, and father must win. Medicine dust cannot be detected, thank you for the system. I almost got exposed for a lie. Xiao Zhan suddenly noticed that his breathing was accelerating and his heart was beating faster. Cold sweat emanated from behind. It seems that I was scared by the small movements of Yao Chen. Although Xiao Zhan was just startled, he remained as stable as an old dog on the surface. It has to be said that having a thick skin is still beneficial to the city walls. And Yao Chen found that his soul perception of Xiao Zhan was no different from that of an ordinary person. What does this mean? It means that his cultivation is stronger than himself. That is to say, he has at least a cultivation level above Dosheng. Otherwise, how could he possibly not explore? Is this person really the 9-star peak fighting saint? Is this the strongest fighter in the continent? When Xiao Yan heard Yao Lao's words, he was once again convinced. At this moment, Xiao Zhan pursued with victory. He looked at the medicinal dust and suddenly coughed a few times. I actually knew you were inside the ring all along. It's just that this ring is my wife's relic, so I didn't stop you from sucking on my son Xiao Yan's cultivation. If I kill you and accidentally damage my wife's ring, it would be quite bad. Yao Lao already knows, but there is no certainty. However, Xiao Zhan did not pay attention to the words of this little Dozuan Yao Chen, because he disguised himself as the 9-star peak Dosheng, who was only one step away from being promoted to Emperor Dou. As a peak fighting saint, for those who are weaker than oneself, only others listen to me and there is no reason why I listen to others. At this moment, he saw Xiao Yan trapped in an autistic mode. I don't know what he's thinking. And Xiao Yan was thinking, my father is a peak fighter saint, why am I only 1-star fighter at the age of 11? I don't think my dad picked it up from the trash can, did he? Am I biological? Xiao Yan fell into deep self-doubt. Although he became the first genius in Yutun City at the age of 11, his cultivation level was surprisingly only 1-star fighter. My dad is so worried. At least when I'm 11 years old, I'm also a master or even a spirit fighter, right? And Xiao Zhan pointed at Yao Chen, wanting to shock him even more. He added a little more oil and said with a playful smile. I actually knew your identity a long time ago. You were originally a member of the Medicine Clan, one of the 8 ancient races, and were expelled from the Medicine Clan due to being framed by Medicine Wan Gue. I have completely detached myself from the medicinal family in my heart, and with his own efforts, he became the first alchemist in Zhongzhou, and his strength reached the peak of the 9 transformations Dozuan. I have made many friends as an alchemist, such as Xuani, one of the 3 giants of Danta, and King Xianzi, the elder of the Flower Sect. You love freedom and don't want to rely on organizations, so coupled with your superb alchemy skills, you are targeted by the Soul Palace. Later, he fell due to the betrayal of his disciple Han Feng, whom he had raised since childhood. Fortunately, the strong soul combined with the bone and soul cold fire were able to protect the soul. He slept deeply in the ring until he met Xiao Yan and absorbed Yan Air's 3-year fighting energy before his soul woke up. Yao Chen trembled all over, his eyes wide open, and his mouth wide open, fingers tremble and tremble, looking at the terrifying existence that already knows everything. How do you know my background? Not only do you know that I'm in the ring, but you also know about my past. Especially Han Feng, who bullied his master and destroyed his ancestors. Xiao Zhan's words had a powerful impact on him, giving Yao Chen a feeling that his actions had already been exposed in broad daylight and had nowhere to hide. Xiao Zhan smiled calmly when he saw his expression. As a traveler, those who have read this novel naturally know. Reading novels is beneficial for thieves, as long as you are lucky enough to travel through the world of novels. Take off directly from the original location, learn astronomy from above and geography from below. Even more impressive than Zhuge Liang. It's easy to know your background. Your task now is to teach Xiao Yan how to refine pills. Can it be possible? Sure. I dare not say no. Xiao Zhan patted Xiao Yan's head and indulged in saying something. My son Xiao Yan, as a father, is the 9-star peak fighting saint, and both you and your father have the bloodline of Emperor Dou. That's why I said you have the talent of an emperor. And in the future, no matter what big deal you cause, your father will handle it for you. Do you understand? Got it, father. Xiao Yan's eyes are a bit moist. It's really moving. And as Xiao Yan looked at Yao Chen, his father seemed to say he was the strongest alchemist, right? In the Duki continent, although alchemists are rare, due to their noble status, they also have a clear hierarchical system, from low to high. Divided into grades 1 to 9, the owner of the Juki powder held by Nalen Yenran in the previous hall is the Dan King Guha. He is a 6th grade alchemist, who can be regarded as the first person in the alchemy world of the Gamma Empire. And the strongest must be the 9th grade alchemist. Xiao Yan no longer hesitated and respectfully bowed to Yao Chen in order to become a prestigious alchemist. Watching Xiao Yan's etiquette complete one by one, Yao Chen nodded in satisfaction, and his voice also added a touch of warmth. After becoming my teacher, all you need to know is that things like those who claim to be the Dan King are actually nothing more than farts. Xiao Yan's mood gradually calmed down. The wild laughter on his face couldn't be suppressed. Since he knows the mystery of the disappearance of Doji Qi, his talent must have returned now. As soon as he thought of finally having the opportunity to take off his useless title, Xiao Yan's body almost seemed to be reborn and relaxed. The old man in front of him, who had been sucking on his fighting spirit for 3 years, didn't seem to dislike him anymore. And he can also cultivate himself to become the strongest alchemist. It's not a loss either. And the most crucial thing is that my father is actually the ceiling of the fighting power of Duki continent. This means that one can easily cause trouble and fight for their father. End of this chapter.